Standby is a brand new feature in iOS 17 that lets us use our iPhone as sort of a smart display when it's not being utilized in our hand. Standby is active by default in iOS 17. To use it, the iPhone needs to be connected to power, positioned in landscape or horizontal orientation, and locked. A press on the sleep-wake button will put this iPhone into standby mode. This iPhone is currently on a wireless charger. Standby will, of course, also work with the phone plugged into power. And here in this case, we have it propped up with a kickstand in its case. We can adjust what's displayed in Standby with both horizontal and vertical swipes. Currently, this iPhone is in the Widgets view, which splits the screen into two widgets. Swipe up or down to cycle through the widgets. Tap and hold on the left or right widget to add or remove widgets to this screen. I'll add the Podcasts widget. It's interactive, so I can play and pause the current podcast from here in Standby.
So those two things really push us into a situation.
We can also expand this widget to full screen.
Amount of time and effort and money preparing for extreme events and coping with the consequences of extreme events. But I do want to address another aspect of your question about the
Single tap on a widget and an arrow appears in the upper right. Tap on it to jump into the app. So I can jump into the weather app, and that will take us out of Standby, but the weather app loads only in vertical orientation. So I'll lock the phone again to return to Standby. Swipe left and we're moved into Photos view. This displays the time, and the image has a very subtle zoom motion as it's displayed. After 20 or 30 seconds, it moves to the next photo. Swipe up to move to a different set of photos. Currently, we have featured, nature, pets, cities, and people. Tap and hold on any of these, and we have an add button that can be used to select any album from our photos library to utilize here. I'll add my favorites album. Swipe left again and we move to the clock screen. Swipe up to switch clock styles. There are 5 options. Tap and hold, then tap on this button to adjust the color of each clock style, except world clock. Swipe right and we can return to the widget screen. Notifications will appear in Standby. Here's a messages notification. If I don't interact with it, the notification will stay on the screen for a few seconds and then fade away. But we can also tap on the notification to unlock and jump into its app. With messages, I can reply in landscape orientation. Then lock the iPhone again to return to Standby. Siri is available in Standby, so I can turn on a smart lamp or create a reminder. Siri, turn on office lamp. Siri, remind me to pick up Mike today at 2 p.m.
Okay, I added pickup Mike for this afternoon at 2 p.m.
Next, let's head into the Settings app and Standby. From here, we can turn the Standby feature off entirely. Next, we can deactivate the Always On Display feature if you have an iPhone with an Always On display. If not, this won't appear here. Turning this off will cause the screen to turn off after about 20 seconds while in Standby mode. To view Standby again, we'll need to tap the screen or cause a vibration near the iPhone, as long as the motion to wake setting is turned on here in night mode. If you want to use your iPhone as a nightstand clock, having night mode on will tint the display red when in dark surroundings. Red light is easier on your eyes and better for sleep. We can also prevent notifications from appearing in standby mode, or have notification previews only display when tapped for extra privacy. Standby will work on all iPhones that have iOS 17 installed. It's probably best suited for iPhones with an always-on display, which as of this recording is only iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. But it is still useful on iPhones without the always-on display, as only a tap or a nearby vibration will be needed to view standby mode.